You're amazing. I've done a lot of interviews, just, you know, a little feedback here. You're great. My favorite interviews are very conversational, where they're not like, and you've made me feel very conversational. So I think you're a great interviewer too.
Good, thanks. Good. My dad's gonna watch that because my dad always has little tips. I'm myself, man. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. You know, I feel like when you can make it conversational, you can bring the most out of people and be relatable. You know, kind of just like make people feel comfortable. That's really all I want to do.
Welcome back, 100 Crew. I'm going to bring to you the Make More Money podcast, episode 6, with the inspiring ELENA Cardone. I am very proud to bring to you probably the best interview to date. No disrespect to my past guest, but that she met my energy level with 2 energy drinks inside me that I probably didn't need, but it makes for a very powerful interview with the times such as this. We talk about the coronavirus. We talk about the challenges she's overcoming. We talk about if the husband's playing video games, the best way to get past all that stuff. So we really touch on a lot of really good things. I think it's the perfect interview for a time just like this to inspire the world and help everybody else out. And with that said, to kind of give the most help to you guys, and I will be having a webinar doing all what I know and knowledge I've had to help people on April 12th. There'll probably be a replay at around like 6 or 7 p.m. But the reason why I can even do what I'm doing is because of the mentor and peopleship I've surrounded myself with. So if you want to surround yourself with people more, like I do daily Cardone You, and a lot of stuff I put inside my mind to bring to you, there's a 10X mentorship group that I'm proud to join. I had a great success of doing like 100K in sales in 1 week, and just making money online and just taking a lot of the principles they take, tightening my pitch with a huge, great community. It's just been endless value to me, which put me in the situation where I'm at today. If you'd like to kind of just get around a better bunch of people, the 10X mentorship group, I'm going to leave the link below. I think you get some Cardone You, which is also just daily training where if you take notes and just pay attention, you'll be better off in life. I think it's something that should be in schools, which is also what me and ELENA talked about in the review of how we could change schools, which is my passion as well. So just sit back, relax, enjoy. But definitely make sure you check the link below and click on the 10X mentorship group. Check it out. I think it's about $1,000, but it's probably the best investment you can make because it actually pays for it with everything you're doing. And there's a bunch of them out there, but this is one I definitely put I wouldn't be where I am without these people. So, and I have my back against all of them, no matter what anybody says. So just sit back, relax, listen to the great ELENA Cardone, inspiring the world with ELENA Cardone on episode 6 of the Make More Money podcast.
All right, it's Jeff J here to make your day for the Make More Money podcast. I have never been so nervous and excited to bring on one of the people who's been most influential for my success. If anybody knows who it is, it's actually the person behind I forgot how she likes to get introduced. It's more like I think it's Grant Cardone's wife, or no, ELENA Cardone's wife or husband. It's ELENA Cardone. She is an actress. She is Maxim's top 100 hot list ever. She's an author. She's an entrepreneur, a keynote speaker, chief family officer, has 2 beautiful kids, and she is also a philanthropist. I can never say that word. That's one day what I hope. And she's ELENA Cardone. ELENA, how you doing? Thank you for your time today.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me on your show.
Sure. So I want to play this moment for you first. So I'm going to start off, and then we'll get into the questions. So this here is my most. I'm a YouTuber. You're in this at the end. Let's see. I queued it up. So right here, you say you have a quote in here.
Dude, I'm buying the tickets right now.
So this is the first 10X I went to. Not to be too fit.
Jeff, the entrepreneur. Okay, that's awesome.
What?
That is so cool that he was like, do it for my brother.
Like so and so.
So and so. Like I always say that all the time. That is the definition of love. Helping somebody and
Yeah. That's beautiful.
All right. So that's my most shared video on my YouTube. Do you remember that moment?
I do remember that moment. I remember exactly who you are now.
Yeah. So that's me. And so literally, I'm in the pursuit of the dream. When this whole thing happened with the whole Corona stuff, where we're doing this now, and thank you for your time. I am in a better position because of you guys, because of everything. And I think a lot of people are. And so I'm going to get into the first question here. And during the G&E show, which if anybody's not following these people who give back and help out millions of people, I only qualify people by saying, hey, do you know who Grant Cardone is? Because they're 10X people, they're the people I want to associate with, you know? And I see Bobby over there. What was I going to say? In the G&E show, you said how 10X people, because we're going to have a lot of 10X people, listen to this, have to, in a dark time like now, in a really tough time, have to be the example, right? So what's one way a 10X person who's just as lost and confused could be an example during this time?
Well, it's like not everyone's going to go through their feelings of their up and downness. I know I am, and I'm not saying not to be scared, but how you can be a leader in a time like this is continuing to be calm, be prepared, do what you need to do. You don't need to spread false information if you don't know if it's true, if it's going to cause worry and panic and upset on the other end of the line. And what we can do right now at this time is, what can you do at your house? Like, can you go for a walk? Can you exercise? Can you learn something new? Can you study up on your craft? Can you be kinder to the people in your own home? Can you go easy on the people around you right now? What can you control? The definition of power is having the capacity, the ability or the capacity to influence the behavior of another. It doesn't say anything about being rich or having to run a corporation. That is the definition of power, having the ability or capacity to influence the behavior of others. So can you possess power right now and within your own home? Influence your child to smile, influence your child to want to do something to better themselves rather than sit on a couch and intake TV all day. Can you influence somebody else to take a higher, more positive outlook? You're doing and creating something powerful right now, because hopefully a listener on the other end of this will feel, okay, I'm a little less scared. There is something I can do. I can drink my water. I can take my vitamins. I can make my bed. I can do things. We're not just all going to shrivel up and die. We're just going to do one step and one motion after the other to keep ourselves and our mental strength game strong.
Yeah. See, I'm taking notes already. That's one thing I watched by this guy named Grant Cardone. He always takes notes. I talk. I try and not cut people off, so I always take notes. So you've taught me so much. Actually, one of the things you mentioned is go for a walk. I know you mentioned the G&E show that you and Grant, you said he can't go for a run, right? You said go for a run. He said he'd hobble. What's going on with his ankle? Is that like from the parachute moment? Still,
you know what? The parachute moment exacerbated a problem.
Yeah.
So, it's just been this ongoing thing. I don't know. To get technical, it's something about a spur or something. I don't know.
No,
but it's
he really parachuted that time, right?
Oh my God, yes. And it'll never happen again.
Yeah, no, I know. Trust me, because there's so many people, and I don't know what this is. Maybe this is one thing that really was the reason why I wanted to bring you on now. There's so many people right now, and I think when you have the level of success you do, the number one rule in business, being an entrepreneur, is to stay in business, right? So you got to do everything you can to bring everybody back. And you, as an entrepreneur, you give jobs. Grant Cardone not only is giving jobs, but knowledge to all his employees and put them in a better situation than. Right now, I notice because, I am an ambassador and a 10X of you guys, right, of that thing. I'm an extension of it. What would you say, and I don't know why this happens, because it even happens to me sometimes. People try and tear that down, and it really makes me upset. And I don't know the best way to handle that, right? Because you guys have done so much for so many people. I just show them, like that video that I showed, when the people have any words, I show them that video about Grant, and they see how he cared, and they see you, and it just embodies what you guys are, So, and then they're like, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, just check it, people just start talking, and it's really, so what's the best way to handle, like, that? Because that's something that I really want for all the 10X fans and anybody. you know, we kind of have your back. What's the best way we can have your back?
Well, the best way you can have my back is to flourish and prosper. And that's how I get back at those people is I flourish and prosper. I dig in deeper. I hold myself to a more ethical, higher standard. I am not like resistant of temptation. I'm not like Mother frickin' Teresa, you know, but I hold myself accountable. I don't do drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I just hunker down and try to be the best that I can be to prove everyone, you know, not to prove everyone wrong. It's to prove to myself and all the other people that are just like me that, you know, came from not much. I certainly wouldn't put me in the poor category. We always had a meal, but we always worried about saving money. We lived paycheck to paycheck. So I fight every single day for all the people just like me that were made to think you're going to stay small. You have to be small. And for all the people that try to tear us down now that we've actually, you know, found some workable solutions that have gotten us a little bit better of a condition than we were. I fight every single day for all those people to know that it can be done and it can be achieved. So I don't pay much attention to all that noise. I just try to flourish and prosper and bring the rest of the me's, all the me's of the world, just like me. I want us to all rise up and help each other and be a support for each other. It's not always easy for me. I need somebody to pick me up. I get sucker punched and gutted, like just like everybody else. It doesn't feel good. I'm very sensitive. I have to train even harder to not be sensitive, you know, because I get affected. But I know that doesn't help me. It doesn't help the people around me in my community for me to be little old whiny pussyfoot, Andy, little girl that's gonna be upset that, somebody said something bad about me. The only time I'll fight back and attack is when it's a true enemy. Somebody threatens you physically or, seek to destroy my family, my employees, my investors, my 10X family. I will go to war with you. And I have made myself strong enough to take a hit and most powerful to deliver an effective blow. And I'm not afraid to do that, to protect my empire and the people that I love.
So, wow. See, I love the way you speak. You speak so good. In the G&E show, Grant will cut you off sometimes. And Grant, I love Grant. But like you have such a way about it that my dad always said this, Jeff, the quicker you realize this, women are smarter than men. The quicker you realize that and give into that, then you can do it. Like, and a lot of times too, there's all that whole aspect. So one thing I want to say about sensitivity, I wasn't going to go here, but I definitely am very full of emotion, right? I'm actually doing a video on my YouTube channel to help inspire people. I'm doing daily YouTube videos of kind of just some of the knowledge from Grant that I've learned. I tell them to read the 10X rule book and get into this whole where I'm at. People ask me, Jeff, how do you do that? I'm like, read this book and you'll see. And it's why I'm where I'm at. But is to basically give back. The latest thing I always have is when someone says to me, I get a little sensitive, right? And I say it's passionate. It's really sensitive, right? Like my dad will get mad at me for sharing this, but I'm going to share it because this is me. I'm all out there. I'm kind of like Grant when he does it. A girl said, I'm trying to promote my brother, Josh Lewis Grove. He's way more talented than me, way more smart, takes a little less action. I'm massive action. Girl, I promoted a video I did an interview with him. She said he was hot. And it got me all upset. I thought this girl kind of liked me for a little bit of time. I thought really high of her. She was definitely more in the 10X kind of vibe. And then I got it, and I just lashed back at her. There was a lot of stuff going on just because with finances and everything. She was going through stuff.
You lashed back at her because she said another man was hot?
Yeah, my brother, which my brother is a good-looking dude.
Brother. Okay, I missed that part of the story. Okay, all right.
So I lashed back out, which wasn't I shouldn't have done. I know that. I should have kept my emotions in check and something like that. And I'll learn. I'll be better from it going forward, But I lashed back out, and it got pretty nasty. What's the best way to handle something like that? Like, what do you think?
There should be mutual respect. There's certain things, maybe you should just, what you could have done, look, we all could be better in hindsight, but you have to develop your arsenal of tools so that you can have the option to react in more ways than just with anger. So, I mean, you have to come up with all these scenarios and like play them out. And how could you have reacted differently? I mean, there's laughter, there's, oh my God, that hurt. There's, okay, well, you know, look, let's, you know, that you know, you kind of went to the brother, like that's like a low blow. Can you maybe just keep the hot guy comments to like firemen and military? I mean, make a joke. You could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where she can get the point, you know, or just like, you know what I'm saying? There's other ways to react. And then, you know, there's also someone that has to, you know, apply respect. So once she does know how you feel about something, if she keeps trying to poke the button, you know, like what's the intention behind that? Like, I'm not, you know, in a relationship, you're supposed to be aligned with the other person to get the other person from where they could have taken themselves to the heightened success. So that's why I'm interested in being in a partnership with Grant. It's not just about, oh, I'm going to have monogamous sex with this one man for the rest of my life because that's what I decided. No, like there's more to it than that for me. I mean, that's also very important, and I'm not saying that's not, but it's about helping each other achieve their heightened success. And if certain things you do to somebody crushes them down or makes them not confident or insecure, or, you know, there's also, hey, let me work with that until that gets handled in that person. I'm just going to leave that alone because I want my man or my woman to feel confident and to feel supported and to feel like they can do more being with me than not being with me. So, and I'm interested in relationships, really examining that once you have the purpose and that goal together to like, hey, you know what? I'm here. You showed the video where I said the greatest act of love that you can give somebody is to help them achieve their goal. If two people can come together on those terms and agree on that, then you can be more aligned with how do I design and set my relationship up for success? How do we align each other to where your role in this relationship is to help me achieve heightened success? I can do it on my own. I can do this much on my own, but I'm also realistic to know that with Grant's help, I get that far. And he is a smart enough and a wise enough man to appreciate me and attribute his heightened success to that is what I have given to him. And that's why we're so successful together. And that's what catapulted us up into another level. It's not always perfect. I don't want to make it sound like we're this in love honeymoon all the time. We've been together 16 years. There's time I want to punch him in the face, and vice versa, just keeping it real. But there's always trust, there's always love, and I'm always going to, you know, keep my integrity no matter if what guy I think is hot. I'm not freaking blind. I can see, I know he's not blind, but we trust each other to keep, you know, that integrity so we can keep our relationship very viable and strong, especially in times like this.
So yeah, and that's what I want to talk about, and everything, man. I love you're just everything. You're like dropping a value here all the time. So a lot of families right now are, and I want Bobby to come in at the end here, but a lot of families here are they're struggling to stay at home right now and be more closer to themselves, right? And one thing I love is on the G&E show, which everybody doesn't watch any of the shows, it's one of my favorites because you guys are very transparent on how it is. You get mad at him, you'll say it, kind of a whole thing. You're just very well the way you do. I've actually showed it to my mentor, Joe Tenati. He's like the Grant Cardone and face like the Elena Cardone in a way. That's why I picked working with him. I was like, nope, this guy says everything Grant says. He's actually been going in on Grant's material now that we have this little contraction. He said, hey, this guy Grant. I was like, I've been telling you, man. But anyway, so what I wanted to ask about this question was relationships. I one day hope to find a 10X lady. Right now I'm focused, no alcohol, no girls. I stay focused on my software, my business, my YouTube channel, and really just giving value and coaching people on how to make money and really just in this dark time. But everybody's stuck at home with their girlfriend right now. They're probably getting on their nerves. Like someone's listening to this now. That's why they're tuning into this channel and hearing, okay, who's this lady? What's one thing? Because Grant used to be the guy who played video games, did he not? Like way back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a little bit about that, because I know where you're at now. But go ahead, let's talk about that.
Oh my God, now I'm like, can't you find a video game to play so I can have my time? No, how did I go from back then? Well, back then, okay. I was in my 20s. I went from living on my own from 17 years old. I went from being in the competitive shooting world. I hung out with guys all the time. I worked on cars, 60s hot rods. I was an actress. I was a model. I had no shortage. I'm not trying to brag here.
Yeah, no, that's everything.
There was no shortage of men like oogling to like want to hang out with me. So, and then I find myself in this situation where I marry a guy, and now I'm like, thinking, I'm all that and then some. And he was more interested in my apparency of hanging out with his twin brother down the road playing Xbox. And I was like, what the hell just happened? How did I find myself in this situation? And I literally secretly, because we're not allowed to use the divorce word, the D word. But in my head, I was like, I made a mistake. I need out of this. This is not going to work. And I, because he wouldn't stop playing. I was like, dude, can you come home at 10 o'clock at night? Like, is that fair? Is that reasonable? And then it would only make the problem worse. Then it was like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Like I think they actually had a conversation like, how can I drive this woman even more crazy? And that's what they did. So I got to a certain point, because I'm not a quitter,
there's a lot of girls in that situation now. I know because I hear it. So now I want to hear what happened here.
So what happened then was I had to look at what I can control. I can control how I feel about something. I can control the way I look at the situation. Okay. Did the situation mean he doesn't love me? It didn't, actually. I analyzed that. Did it just mean the guy loves his twin brother and loves playing Xbox? And I was like, I really honestly think that's all it meant. I didn't need to make it mean anything about me, Yeah. And everything, my whole world prior to being married was all about me. I did not know how to think about anything else. So I thought, why am I so upset right now? It's because I had let go of certain passions in my life, and I expected him to do the same. And there was a void in me that I was expecting him to come home and fulfill, to make me happy. I realized I had assigned him his job as my husband, my new husband, was to make me happy. And I realized that's not really fair to do to anyone. So I had to look at, what could I do? How could I become an asset to myself? What could I learn? How can I, instead of retaliating by going out and hanging out in clubs, because I was major party girl in my 20s.
Yeah, I remember living those days. Yeah.
Oh yeah, those were some good old days.
That was yeah. Go ahead.
Rather than retaliating by, let me go show you, I can have a man flirt with me and at my beck and call, and don't you know what you don't have, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I have to be more mature here. And I went in and started to figure out, how can I really become an asset, and started learning and working on self-enhancement and doing courses and reading books and learning stuff, and not really, caring, and not in a bad way, but because I was able to fulfill myself, I didn't need him to do it. And ironically, it made the relationship better. And now that I'm married and I have 2 kids, and I've become such an asset to Grant, that now he wants me around 24/7. And that's why I said in the beginning, now I'm like, please, I didn't realize what I had when you gave me my time to myself until now.
But it's another challenge. But you definitely have offered so much to it since then, this is a testimony to you. So what's the best book you read during that time, or something that kind of got you where now you're such an asset to Grant?
I have read like dozens of self-help books, New Slant on Life, Fundamentals of Thought, Ups and Downs in Life, How to Overcome Ups and Downs in Life, How to Confront and Shatter Suppression. I've done 4 finance courses. Do you know the names of them?
I know some of those that you're saying. I've been doing some of that stuff lately, and it does help.
I've done like the entire lineup of all that stuff. So, I really worked on myself. I've really looked at who I really am. you know, and I've really put in some discipline to become the person that I am today, you know, and I'm proud of who I am. You know, there wasn't a time where I was always a friend to myself. Now I'm my own best friend. So when you can be your own best friend, you don't really always need to seek the approval of everyone else when you know you have your own back.
No, that's very true. Now, I know we're very different than the '08 crash. This is something we've never seen in the world right now, the coronavirus chronicles coming. And I'm not afraid to say, I'm not afraid to confront what it is, know the thing, and know that I was born for such a time like this. I believe in that. I was born to inspire. There's no accident I met you and Grant and all that stuff too, because I wouldn't be as ready as I was to be an extension of it. So in '08, you were there when you used to make Grant go to the room and write, and he came out writing a book, right? Is that kind of a similar thing going now? Grant's in there writing a book again about this, or where are we at right now?
He's writing a book and I'm writing a book. So
what book are you writing?
I'm writing a manual for all of my men out there, such as yourself. Maybe you'll read it and tell me what you think. You can be the first one to preview it and give me feedback. But This book is strictly for the 10X environment. It's not for the normal people that want normal relationships. Yeah. This is specifically to men who want to find, maintain, and be in a 10X relationship. And I'm going through like basics 101 from the beginning to the end of this book, hoping that you understand really the anatomy of what a 10X woman is, how she wants to be treated, and really understand the anatomy of relationships, all with the purpose of achieving the heightened success together. And then after I finish this manual, I'm turning it around and writing a very similarly structured one for the women.
Okay, good, awesome. No, so just so you know, I'm not getting married until I read your book. I've already made that decision in my mind, all right? So my whole life is on it because I already said that. I remember you, by the way, you don't probably remember this because I'm sure you get it, and I'm a lot less active on Instagram because I'm a lot more productive. But I asked you advice about a girl a long time ago. She went to church and I think, and you said, yeah, go, show up. So one thing I love about Grant's story, right, is I was always like that. When I like a girl, I tell her I like a girl. I'm too much. I know that. I'm an entrepreneur, okay? I like challenges. That's why I was dating Spanish girls for a while and stuff like that. But the one thing I want to ask is being with an entrepreneur. You say it in the honest thing. I'm an entrepreneur. I know I'm high maintenance or I'm tough to deal with for a girl. I'm always working. I'm always doing something. I don't want to watch Netflix. I want to work. You know, I love it. This is what I love. I love producing. I love inspiring. So what would you say to the girl, my future wife, so I could have her watch this on how to deal with an entrepreneur who's so fast moving? What's like the best tip you could give them? You have to have your end game on the same agreements and the same alignment. And then when she understands that she's in it with you and you're not just running off doing your own thing and to where she feels excluded from that, when that 10X woman feels included and on the same page, she won't need to be with you 24/7 to feel like she needs some attention from you. When she is on the same page with the same, playbook, you can go off and do your thing and she's going to have your back and divide and conquer in other areas, so that y'all can mutually get ahead together. Yeah, no, that's great. That's actually awesome. And that's what I'm always looking about. I have qualifying questions for everybody. Usually the first one is, do you know of Grant Cardone? If you don't, see you later, man. That's really how it is. Anybody who knows me on Instagram, Jeff the Entrepreneur, will see like that's what it is. By the way, you know what Lewis House is, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I was on his live last night. Got a whole bunch of people telling kind of my story and my dream. Here's the thing. And anybody here, keep the vision on the dream. My dream is still the biggest coffee shop music studio ever in honor of my brother. I'm not going to give up no matter what it is, no matter what famine. I'm going to produce. If anything, more millionaires are made during this recession now. So I'm really been born to create and kind of do it. But I really want to help people. Like, it's not really just about me. Money's just the tool to get kind of the next place. You get it. You guys live it. But the one thing I want to ask is, with everything that you've done, right, and where you're at right now, you definitely embody like what a mom is. Like, I watch you with your kids and how you are, and Grant's a great dad and everything. Like, I'm usually looking for value, and I'll see Grant just hanging out with the kids, and I want that. I want something like that, right? So what I know kids, a lot of families right now are all caught in, there's kids, and I was homeschooled, okay? And everybody's like, oh, that explains it. It doesn't explain anything, man. It's better that way, all right? You don't learn anything in school. I was a teacher too, and I'm gonna ask you a question later. My passion is to change education. What's one key you can give to the mom who can't stand with her kids right now, who's kind of in there? And how do you do it so well? You have two beautiful daughters, Sabrina and Scarlett, who speak of phenomenally well on stage. What can you attribute to that? Best parenting advice here in a little bit. Sorry, long-winded questions.
The best parenting, I missed the part you said you wanted me to say something specifically to moms. What was that?
Yeah, so basically to moms is the kind of the thing I'm thinking, like, right now they're kind of challenged to teach these kids and everything. I know you guys do homeschooling. What's one thing you found that kind of helps with that?
Well, first, thank you for saying that I'm a good mom. And I'd like to just say out there that to me, I think being a parent, being the mom, of course, I believe is the most important job that I have on this planet, is to rear two of these beautiful children to be confident, producing, contributing members of society. So I always think about that. And so the thing about being at home with your kids right now is everyone will say the same thing. Try to put them on a schedule. You don't have to be the Hitler Nazi. They're kids. They have short attention spans. Let them, maybe do 2 activities that they want to do, and then 30 minutes or an hour of their homework, and set up incentives. And then also, it's not so much about schoolwork to me. They need to know the fundamentals and they need the necessities to get through life. But they don't, I don't care that I'm not so interested in school. I'm interested in what can they do around the house? How can I be creative? How can I make them interested? I made Scarlett be responsible for feeding me 1 meal a week. So she has to get the groceries, cook the meal. And now I've made her in charge of baking and, just stuff where it takes interest so she can feel where the kids can feel in control. Imagine how kids might feel right now. They feel like they can't do anything. They're made to stay inside. What can you do as a parent to let your kid feel like they have a role in the family and that they're responsible for somebody else, and what activities can they do? Even if it's silly, even if it's a 2-year-old, maybe you can have the 2-year-old do the disinfecting of the door handles. It's not that they're going to do the perfect job. It's just to make them feel like they can control things, that they're important in the family, that they matter, and what they contribute matters. So as a parent, I'm always looking for ways my children are allowed to work, are allowed to exchange with us, so that they can feel a sense of pride and that they're contributing and doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, I work with Joe Tenati and Faith Tenati, and she has that same great motherly way of she'll make her daughters included right into the business, right? And the way they do stuff, I take notes, all this data I'm collecting now, good data now from you guys and everything now, where before I had all the wrong data, I got to unlearn all that. But that totally makes sense. So what do you think though is the best, so everybody now, this is a really interesting time. We're not in a time like this, right? So what do you think the best inspiring words, messages that you kind of want to get out to people right now? Because this will probably be, I'm going to get this or I might even edit it myself and get it out quicker. Because I feel like people finding you, maybe this is the first time finding you, what would you say the best thing someone's doing? Let's say it's me. I just invested a whole bunch of money in my software. I knew the money was tanking the market. I'm an entrepreneur. I was like, let me go all in. You got to totally commit, right? We'll figure it out if it works or it doesn't, right? If not, I'm confident in myself I can reproduce and help other people because I made that much money, So what's the one thing you can really just say to someone in a dark time like this? It's uncertain. We don't know when this is going to end. The economy is the really biggest hit right now that, as entrepreneurs, we're really worried about. Yes, obviously our health too. But what's one inspiring word you can say when you don't know where the end is?
I would look at how you can fortify as a group right now, how you can really use this opportunity to have certain conversations maybe that you weren't willing to have before in order for the big goal to how do we prepare? I'm always about being prepared, and so let's prepare for the Category 5 hurricane to hit? And what do you and your family need to prepare for that? I've built up a Category 5 building, and I've laid it brick by brick. And, you know, I've endured numerous hurricanes to learn, oh, wow, you know what, the wooden hay ceiling flies off. Maybe I should do that with some cement or some concrete. And every single time I've had to endure an impact, I've learned and fortified and made myself stronger. So I'm doing the same thing with this. I'm figuring out, okay, now we have to pull back in. We have to hunker down. You know, we have to be willing to, you know, feel the impact. And then, you know, and then just like everything else, when it passes, and it will, you need to look at, okay, now it's cleanup crew. And after you clean up, how can we then plant all the seeds and flourish and prosper again? It's going to be different for everybody else, but you need to analyze your life, what you do, how can you protect yourself, what's the long-term gain, how do we have each other's back right now? Like Grant and I have just literally verbally said, I have verbally said to him, because, you know, it's very stressful. A lot of people depend on us. We're in the public eye. A lot of people want to see us fail right now. It would make no one more happy than to see us separate or fail or whatever. So I just told him in the very beginning, you know what, all communications between he and I right now have to go a little bit easier than usual. And that's what we're doing. I'm doing that for the long term. I don't know when this thing ends, but for that, this particular operation, that one little thing that I can control, and there's many, but I'm giving you one example, one simple little example, is that, you know what, from here until the end, all communications that he and I have to be said with a different tone. It has to go easier. You have to be willing to let a few things slide right now, and you have to communicate on a different tone. It can't be this hard, this like, can't do that right now, you know? So we both agreed to that, and that's just one little thing that's just going to help us be able to endure the long haul. You have to look at your family and figure out, well, what is all the other things you can do? But I just gave you one small little sample. But it's the little things. It's the little things that work, you know?
Yeah. Well, Grant taught me that stress is good. It means you want to succeed. If you aren't stressed out, it's not really a good thing. But the thing is, I don't think you're alone. There's everybody in the world who's all, you know, like that. So they're all feeling that same way. So I think that's a huge thing that anybody can kind of take and agree on that. So thank you for giving so much value. And listen, I know as you said that, it made me think, you know, I have a prayer list. I pray every day. I'm going to add you guys to my prayer list and pray for you. Because I'm a Jesus guy when it comes to through and through. I'll study everything. But you mentioned something in there. This is almost biblical proportions. Not to get into any conspiracy theories or anything. What did you mean by that? What did you see in biblical proportions on that? Because I know what my dad always says. My dad always talks about the rapture and all that. So I want to hear what you think biblical proportions with everything going on.
Well, you mean in terms of why I would use the word biblical proportions? Because we've never seen this in our lifetime. Our parents, my father actually lived through the Great Depression, fought in World War II. So he's certainly seen some things. He's passed away now, but no one has seen what we are seeing. No one has ever seen a pandemic that has been on a global scale where it has completely shut down economies, and what the ramifications of all of that means in long term. And look at the unemployment in the last week or so. I mean, we were doing really great and really thriving, and literally almost overnight, we're at millions hit the unemployment. I mean, what does it all mean? Like, it's something we're just gonna have to work our way through to know what it really all means. And I keep still trying to process it all, and I keep trying to envision the future and what does this mean and that mean, and then come back to the present and figure out how I want to handle going forward based on what I've figured it all to mean.
Yeah, that's perfect. No, and it's funny because where I'm at right now, I want to be an entrepreneur really right now. I want to create jobs. I want to help people who are all employed. That's really what I want to do. And you got to really make sure you're set before you do that, right? Kind of retreat before you succeed. So with that, one of the things that I want to do, and I've been partnering with a guy who has another software company. Grant said I wouldn't do it. In my whole life, when someone told me I didn't do something, I always do it, right? That's an entrepreneur. That's Grant for you too, right? But someone told me I'd never become a quarterback. I became a quarterback. This girl I had a crush told me I'd never become a lifeguard. I have a lifeguard hoodie right here. I became a lifeguard. And she told me I wouldn't become a teacher. I became a teacher, which was the lowest paying job. We have Grant telling me, get out of it's dumb class, dumb schools, blah, blah. And he was right. I actually showed Grant's video in my money management class in there. And they're like, what are you showing? And then they're like, who is this guy, right? So what's one change, and this is the question I always ask Brendan and now a few of them, what's one change you think we can make in the education system going forward?
Yeah, wow. Well, you know, I'm not the expert in that, but the one thing you can change in the education system is teaching with a purpose. I've found that you really can't learn any subject if you don't have a purpose or a reason for learning it, which is why so many kids are going into non-comprehension on a subject. They don't even understand what the subject is. Like take math, for instance. Like I studied math. I was never good at math. And it wasn't until years later that I actually even understood what the word math meant. I had never even taken the time to look up in the dictionary, well, what does math mean? Math is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and that's it. That's math. That's not calculus. It's not physics. It's not. So the very first thing that I would say going forward is teach with a purpose. Had someone said to me at a very young age, the reason to learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division is, you know, because then once you know how much money you have, you can know what you can afford at the Jiffy store when you want to buy all your candy and this and that. I mean, there just has to be a purpose for the person that's going to learn the subject. When my children were studying Chinese, I gave them a purpose. I said, look, the reason to study Chinese wasn't our purpose, which is, hey, we want you to have Chinese so that you can, you know, have the option to take the companies to China or to, you know, over there when you're 20 or 30 or 40. No, I had to say, look, why do you want to learn Chinese? Because you guys can talk in Chinese in front of us, and y'all can talk about surprise parties and the balloons and this and this and this about what you want to plan for us, or all the chocolate you're going to eat, or the ice cream that you want to eat, and we'll never know. And you know what? That just happened to be the one thing that made them interested in wanting to learn Chinese. So find the purpose of how you can make it relatable to keep a child's interest in wanting to learn something, rather than being forced to have to learn something and then being labeled ADHD when they don't have the attention for it. Because, you know, if your child was like me, they were a visionary and they were moving like constantly. I'd bounce on a Pilates ball 24/7 because I understand how I envision and how I work. I don't work like doing certain things. Not everyone doesn't fit into a category. So, you know, if a child doesn't have a purpose or a reason, of course they're not going to have attention for it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was in education system where they were having kids get up and do everything, brain breaks. They were starting to catch on. I don't think all teachers are bad. Some teachers do have a passion to do that. But I take all this data and I'm going to put it in a curriculum. I have 4 private schools that are willing to have me pitch it to them, and we'll change some kids' lives too. So best money tips. Now, best money tips for anybody here, just the average person right now, just listening to this. What's a good money tip you can give them?
I'm Grant's biggest fan, and I wrote that in my book, Be Your Partner's Biggest Fan, in my book, Build an Empire, How to Have It All. So of course I'm gonna tell you what I truly believe is the biggest money tips you can do is get Grant's free booklet called the Millionaire Booklet.
Right here.
It's in, like, I don't know, every language you can imagine. That is a great introductory, all you need to know about money. And I'll tell you, from someone who's not educated myself, I never went to college, I believe I know the 3 things that I need to know about money: how to earn it, number 1; number 2, how to store it; and number 3, how to multiply it. So those are the only real things you need to know about money. My children know these 3 things. Most people know about number 1. Most can't do number 2. And like most of the world don't know how to invest it in cash flowing assets that pay you and how to multiply money. So if you figure those 3 things out, that's all you need to know about money.
Awesome. So going back to the 10X Growth Con, Kevin Hart was up on stage. I don't think he was on Cardone U. And he said the same exact rules Grant teaches in Cardone U. 40% of the tax man, 40% yourself, 20%, right? Grant was just looking at Kevin like, man, how do you know? Grant's been teaching this stuff for a while. So I'm going to leave the link for Cardone U and the Millionaire Booklet below so you guys can take action today, because that's the most important thing of that. Cardone U is something that I think couldn't be in schools, and kids would be way better off. And when you say you're not educated, you're more educated than anybody else out there with a little piece of paper that's doing them nothing right now, okay? So, like, you know that. We kind of know that. Everything's education right now. Right, which is really the best point, you know? So I mean, I hate the stigma on that, because I wanted to be the first kid who finished college, and I dropped out early because I was like, no, I don't need now. Once I kind of found Grant and everybody, but the thing I wanted to say is, man, I forgot. What was I even saying? I just got like kind of like, oh my goodness, I'm with ELENA CARDONE here. And I've been doing pretty cool though. I know, like, I have long-winded questions. This is kind of how I am. I'll get better at this. I'm taking courses on how to become a better interviewer. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for coming on.
You're amazing. I've done a lot of interviews. Just, you know, a little feedback here. You're great. My favorite interviews are very conversational, where they're not like, and you've made me feel very conversational. So I think you're a great interviewer too.
Good, thanks. Good. My dad's gonna watch that, because my dad always has little tips. I'm myself, man. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. You know, I feel like when you can make it conversational, you can bring the most out of people and be relatable. You know, kind of, and just like make people feel comfortable. That's really all I want to do. That's what I do even in sales and helping people in coaching sessions. You know, so I usually have 5 lists of questions, and I don't have them because I was trying to make sure the audio and stuff was good. I'm trying to remember the last 2. Well, where can people find more of you? For the people who just found out, where can they find more of you? We'll do that one.
Well, I love Instagram. I respond to a lot of people on Instagram, especially these days. You can go to ELENA CARDONE at ELENA CARDONE. My website is elenacardone.com. You can get my free book if you want my book. If you liked anything that I said and want to know more, it's Build an Empire, How to Have It All. And you can go to elenacardone.com/empire. I'm giving the books away to anyone. For all my ladies out there, if you want to join every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm doing a free 10X Ladies Global World. You know, it's just a really incredible group. If you want to join that, you have to register, and you can be on the Zoom at that time. And you go to 10xladies.com.
So, and that's awesome that you're doing that for women. I want to ask you one quick question before we get out of here.
I'm sorry. It's 10xladies.com/network.
So I'm gonna make the editors put them all in the thing, so you don't have to get it right. They'll Google it. I'm paying them to do something, okay? So, you girls can sometimes get so catty, right, with stuff. I noticed that happen. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just saying something, all right? But I just noticed that. I feel the 10X girls are the best, kind of, in a way. You have a 10X girl right next to you, Bobby, right? Such a good friendship there. So speak of something about that friendship that you like and admire about that.
Well, Bobby pushes me to greatness, except when she tries to push me to eat stuff like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, right there. She won't come on.
She's here. Bobby is someone that that is trusted. She has my back. You know, she's very protective of me, very similar to how I protect Grant, in the sense that I am very you know, I'm very naive sometimes, and I know that's my weakness, and I've set systems in place to help me deal with that and filter through and stuff. One thing I'm not naive about is men's intentions, and so I protect Bobby against all the men of the world that she's like, what? They just want to take me out to lunch because they're interested in business, and I'm like, my God. And she protects me because she thinks some women don't always have the best intentions, because whatever, and I don't see it. And she's like, oh my God, you're blind as a bat. You're so naive. So we have a good balance. It's not just that. It's just, you know, she really loves my family. She'll do anything for me. And I would do anything for her. And it's real, you know, when you have real people who are, you know, that could go to war for you and do and would, you want to keep those people around, you know, and it's just a really great friendship. And we make each other laugh. And so she releases a lot of stress for me right now. You know, in between times when I feel uncertain or scared and I'm like, oh my God. And, you know, and then we go on a walk or we go on a run or, you know, we have a drinking water competition and, you know, and then it makes things funny again. So I can lighten up and blow out the pressure because I know my role in my relationship with my husband is, you know, I need to be, you know, the cheerleader. I need to be the stability, the calm during, you know, him chartering the waters, these rough times. I need to be the force that's going to be amazing for him. He can't have me frazzled out of my mind. So, you know, that's when someone like Bobby is really great for me to help me always, you know, hold my position with, you know, in this family.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I know she had my back the other day. She's a fan of me. I'll say that much. I'm a fan of her. When someone has your back, it's one of the best feelings, you know? And actually, before this whole thing happened, I think you guys were scheduled to be in New York. I was talking to Rock. I was going to do a live audience, this whole thing with Grant Cardone sit down. I got to have Grant on here eventually one day, once we get up there.
Go through Rock.
Yeah, we'll get it done. I enjoyed way more than I even thought. There was so much valuable here. Thank you so much for your time. I almost hate it has to end. I actually have to go do work, you know, to help stimulate the economy and help change the world, man. Because, you know, can't sit around. But I hope this brought value to everybody else. It's almost sad. I've never been more sad to leave an interview because there's just so much knowledge you have. But maybe we can do this again, you know? Once I'm bigger. Oh, I'm having Dana White on it. The 10X Growth Con was phenomenal. I wanted to ask you this. Got fired yet? How long did that take you to practice and do?
Oh, wow. I'm glad you mentioned the fire dance. I had 1 month from the start of even holding the fans in my hand to the performance of that. And this is not a humble brag. This is like a direct brag. I learned some of those moves that normally I've been told, I believe them, that take certain moves take 3 to 6 months to learn, like this one, the one in the very beginning, the opening.
Yeah.
So, you know, I learned all of that in 1 month. I'm not a dancer. I've never held the fans before. It was very hot. It was, you know, I lit up for the first time the day before I lit up on the stage.
Wow.
So, you know, it was terrifying, I got to tell you, but I'm very proud of myself. I did all of that in 1 month. I just focused every single day and trained and committed myself to an hour a day. Bobby helped me, again, a good friend. She did the music. She was like trying to keep me on track and paced out right. And, you know, so it was a team effort, but.
No, that's awesome. No, that was, I didn't know it was you. I had no clue. I'm watching the whole thing like, man, Grant hired these circus act people. That's awesome, right? I'm watching the whole thing, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that was her? How did she even do that? Is she okay? Like, but it was funny. And then last year, just so anybody who's listening to this, a lot of people in this whole mentor group are first to Grant Cardone. I was in the cheap seats the year prior. Not really the cheapest, but in Miami. And then I was on the floor. I met Dana White, who's a great guy. He's going to be on here because
I love him.
Oh my God, isn't he the coolest dude ever?
He's so cool.
So he was like, dude, no, because he knew my story about my brother. I told him. There's a video on my Instagram, I talked to, and he was just like, no, we'll do it in person, fly out to Vegas, let's do it. And I was like, how much? He's like, no, man, let's do it. He's the embodiment of what I kind of would like to be, you know?
No, I would like to just say that Dana came to that, the 10X Growth Con with a friend of ours, Carrie Kasem. Thank you, Carrie Kasem, for bringing Dana. Okay. Because I love him, being like that I love the MMA world so much. So I met him, talked with him. He's so real and so cool. And then he was just like, hey, if Grant wants to bring me up and interview me, that was completely impromptu, spontaneous. Wow. And he's just a really cool guy. So I'm a definite Dana White fan.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I wasn't even a Floyd Mayweather fan. I'm more of a what's it called, Conor McGregor fan. My four most influential people are Grant Cardone, Martin Luther King Jr., because he did all this love and hate, Conor McGregor, and Tim Tebow. Those are like the Mount Rushmore of my people, you know? Who would you say some of your most influential people are?
Oh, my God. Why do you put me ringer like this?
I didn't plan on going this far. I planned on ending it, but it was so good. I was just like, you just do two. You don't have to go Mount Rushmore.
Well, again, y'all are gonna roll your eyes, but Grant Cardone is definitely, you know, I'm his biggest fan. So he's definitely the person that's taught me the most.
You gotta be my biggest fan one day. There's a girl can be that. We can do that, right?
Oh, for sure. But I mean, but it's true. Whether it was something I directly learned from him, or what I had to learn about myself through him. Like the story I told you earlier about the Xbox. He didn't do anything. I had to evolve, but he gave me the challenge that challenged me to rise to my occasion. And I'm certainly a more powerful woman, more independent woman. And I got all of that through a man. So he's, you know, I can't answer that question without throwing him in the mix because, you know, because of all that I've gotten heightened from him. So definitely him. You know, I love all the stuff that I've learned from L. Ron Hubbard. I know that's a very controversial name, but if I'm transparent, I can't I'm not gonna like suppress that because I'm worried that somebody's gonna come out and call me a cult lover or whatever. It's like, you asked me, that's true. Those the two men, L. Ron and Cardone, who have like significantly impacted the course of my life. Like,
well, you want to hear something crazy? Grant Cardone is like the Jesus to me of entrepreneurship, okay? And I said that to him, and I made a vote, and he won over Jesus, okay? So that's one thing I've always said. I'm going to tell it to Grant when we interview him one day. Also, I think Grant, and this maybe is controversial, but I don't care.
I love that. When Grant,
I think Grant is
I tell Grant two things. I'm like, Grant, you know, when he's preaching it out, I'm like, go on, Church of Cardone, go on. Woo, hallelujah. And then I also tell Grant, I said, the army of Cardone is real. The people that get us and that we've influenced and helped along the way, they have our back forever. I have you praying for me now. That's literally a goal that Grant and I want, is for people around the globe to pray for us, and whomever their religion is, that's what we want, you know? So hearing you say that, that's like the greatest thing you can give us. And you know, you asked me earlier, how does the 10X world support you? You support me by praying for me and being successful and doing your thing and, you know, having our back. You know, we have yours. You know, we got your back.
No, trust me, man. There's so much stuff. I can't wait till the next time we do this together. What I was going to say, guys, first of all, I think Grant is, and this is going to make a lot of people mad, but I say it to all my buddies who are into, I say he's better than Ron L. Hubbard. I think he's smarter. I think, like, he's logical. Grant does it in more of layman's terms. I need someone to help me figure out some of the stuff that's in the other stuff, you know? So, like, I just think there's something more transitional. Like, that's why I'm like, man, he's impactful, you know? Like, it's not done. It's only just started. People need the 10X movement more than they've ever realized that they have right now. And that's kind of what I'm just an extension of. Hey, I'll help you here. This is what helped me go on, you know? And it's great. So, yeah, I'll definitely keep praying for you. Starting that. Actually, I pray on my YouTube channel all the time. Do you want me to pray right now?
Sure.
All right. Here, I'm going to pray right now. I never do this down here. But, dear Father, Lord, I'm here with ELENA Cardone, Lord. Lord, I pray, Lord, just really blessings upon her, Lord. Protect her now in this stressful time and everything she is, Lord. Lord, you've given her so much wisdom and guidance right now to be where she is. Help edify her. Help her and Grant Cardone grow stronger and more prosperous ever in this dark time, for such a time as this, Lord. As much as I believe I'm born for a time like this, I know that, Lord, as tough it is, Lord, just send people in their path to help them out, to help them succeed, and just change the world. I pray this in Jesus' name, amen.
Woo! That was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, listen, I'm me, man. That's it. At the end of the day, you got me. So, awesome. Hey, thank you so much for your time. My business partner, Ahmad in London, is really filtering out softwares right now. He's like, dude, you can help me? I was like, I have ELENA Cardone. He's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm going to have to bring Ahmad. I'm going to bring JC tonight. I'm going to bring Faith. The next 10X thing when we're off here, I'm going to be sitting diamond. I don't know about anybody else, man. They can just sit wherever they are. It's whatever they put into themselves, you know? But yeah. Hey, great. Great. Thank you so much for having me on. We gave a whole hour. I didn't even plan. I planned 45 minutes. So thank you for spending a little extra.